I have for sale here what I like to call the Korg SV2 system, and they no longer make this case, so it does say SV1 on the side, but in fact there is an SV2 in here with the speakers. SV2S it would be, but this makes for a nice compact system. There is also a big pocket on the back that holds the legs. So I've got the legs, the case with the wheels, heavy duty Korg case, and I've got all the extras in this front pocket here. So what I normally do is I'll roll into the gig. I don't have to carry the stand separately. One thing that I did discover is I'll keep the bolts in this because when they are in the legs, they make it hard to zip up, and I didn't want to stress out the zipper. So that's what I do with the bolts. I'll show you that next. So we open this up, and it's very, very well cushioned. It's probably the best thing next to a hard case. So I would call this a semi-rigid case. And here are the legs. And it does take a little bit of getting used to the first time you use these. It is very well engineered, but there are several. You have to pull out these little bolts here that lock the legs into position. And then you've got right here to pull these out on top, and that allows the legs to swing and they lock. So there are the legs locked in position, and then you have the supports here that allow for further stability. And it makes a very cool looking rig when you get it all together. It does have that, like a Fender Rhodes stage look. So there is that. And then what I'll do next, so you put the stand together first, and then you open the case to get into the keyboard. So there you'll see that's an SV2S with the speakers. And I've done a complete gig with this. I get there, I've got everything in the case, including the legs. Speakers are built in. I don't have to carry a keyboard amp when I'm doing just a solo piano gig, like at the local arts center. They even told me to turn down. Now you couldn't do that with a full band, but just to set it up, like even if you're in a hotel room or something, these speakers are more than ample. So I will turn it over, and there's probably 100 different ways to do this, but I'll probably get on the other side here. This is where you get the bolts, and this makes for a very, very sturdy setup once you put the bolts in. And I just do it just because, oh, and you'll see here, there is a little leg that helps guide you there. And these bolts here, they go down through there, and there is a receiver underneath there. Kind of feel the way in. It took me a few times to figure this whole thing out. That's why I'm making a video. And you really don't have to tighten it, you know, as hard as you can. In fact, these little pins are actually, if you're going to leave it in the stand itself. But like I say, I found that makes it hard to zip up the case when you do that. and someone can probably find even a better way of doing this, but this is how I do it. It's just easier to see what you're doing. If you're trying to do it right side up, it's really a challenge, but this is making it nice just to come into the gig. If you're doing like a solo thing, I just kind of give it that action there. And the SV2 does have a power supply instead of a wall wart. I appreciate that. So you're always just going to be able to plug it right in. So I had bought this to play with a band that did all originals. They were talking about doing some festivals, things like that. Well, long story short, that's the whole reason I bought this keyboard. It's just such a legit thing as opposed to a Nord. It's literally half the price of a Nord. And I like the way it looks, and I like the way it all comes together. So, here we have, it'll come up, light up, and it's all set, ready to rock and roll.